Hi, I'm Kimberly Aiken Cockrum. As Miss America, I know that taking care of yourself is important. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. Brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Coping with COVID and In It Together SC present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Happy Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. In It Together, SC and the Diabetes Action Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Today is no different. I'm Tre Tailor. Happy holidays, and thank you so much for joining us today. An amazing story of survival from disabled veteran CeCe Mazyct. She used her positive outlook and incredible will to turn a challenging situation into triumph. Thank you so much, CeCe, for joining us today. We look forward to hearing your story.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Plus, acclaimed author Dr. Damon Tweedy shares how we can use our minds to make a change in our lives. It's your new you in 2022 on Coping with COVID. Dr. Tweedy, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
Absolutely great seeing you. That and so much more coming up next on Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. It's Wellness Wednesday from the Diabetes Action Council and DHEC's Division of Heart Disease Management. But first, your COVID community updates. John Madden, the Hall of Famer Hall of Famer coach turned broadcaster, died yesterday morning. No cause was given for the 85-year-old who died unexpectedly. He compiled a 103-32-7 regular season record, and his .759 winning percentage is the best among NFL coaches with more than 100 games. But it was his work after prematurely retiring as coach at the age of 42 that made Madden truly a household name. He was an omnipresent pitchman, selling restaurants, hardware stores, and also beer, became the face of Madden FL football, one of the most successful sports video games of all time. The best-selling author was also the preeminent television sports analyst for most of his 3 decades, calling games, winning an unprecedented 16 Emmy Awards, and covering 11 Super Bowls for 4 networks between 1979 and 2009. The University of South Carolina women's basketball home game against Ole Miss has been postponed for this Sunday. This due to a combination of positive COVID tests, contract tracing, and quarantining in the Ole Miss women's basketball program. Tickets for Sunday's game at CLA will be honored for the rescheduled game. And in Columbia, South Carolina, the famously hot New Year's Eve spectacular has been canceled, but you can still enjoy the fireworks. So they will be held at midnight over the State House and can be viewed throughout downtown Columbia. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing, flu testing, and also COVID vaccinations in and around South Carolina. Visit scdhec.gov for more information. Now, if you are a veteran, then you can get your COVID test and COVID vaccination at the VA. All veterans are being handled at the VA. Several outlets in and around South Carolina are also offering COVID vaccinations for those as young as 5 years old. CVS is one of those that are offering COVID vaccinations. Also, Target, the CVSs that are located in the Target stores, they're offering COVID vaccines, as are Kroger pharmacies. Now, Brooklyn Baptist Church is continuing their COVID testing. They are closed on New Year's Day, but they are open every other day, 7 days a week. You can see that information on the screen. The Village of Sandhills Library is also offering COVID testing and COVID vaccinations, and they also are distributing the self-help tests. You can get those at the library at the Village of Sandhills. Now, the Comet Bus System, they're also offering vaccinations. Now, you can actually get your vaccination at the Comet, their main location at the corner of Laurel and Sumter Streets, and you can also catch the Comet to get your vaccine. All you have to do is prove that you have made an appointment to get your vaccine, and you don't have to miss your shot. You can catch the Comet. Now, if you or someone you know is a senior citizen or having some technology challenges and having a challenge of making your COVID vaccination, you can call Get Set Up. And the folks at Get Set Up will help you get set up to make your COVID vaccine appointment. Now, there are several financial resources available if you have a loved one that passed away due to COVID. FEMA is still offering the funeral expenses reimbursement. You can see that information on the screen, and you can certainly contact them for more information. Lexington County has a bill assistance program here in South Carolina. Dominion Energy also has a bill assistance program. They also have a program along with SC Housing for frontline workers to offer some home buying assistance. Also, if you or someone you know is having some challenges coping with COVID, the South Carolina Department of Mental Health has launched SC Hopes. Now, this is a program that will provide help, mental help for everyone in your family, regardless of age, that is coping with COVID. Finally, the inauguration festivities will be held for the City of Columbia mayor and the new council people. That's going to happen at the Convention Center on January 4th. It's free and open to the public. So if you want to go out, you can check that out. You can see that information also on the screen. I'm Tre Tailor, and you're watching Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Advisory Council of South Carolina. We are actually streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to check out Coping with COVID every Wednesday here on Wellness Wednesday, but you can also get all of your diabetes prevention updates. Man, that website and that Facebook page has so many great resources. You want to like and share and check it out. We're also streaming live on the TailorMade production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with COVID. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to get notifications as to when to watch Coping with COVID, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and first Monday with comedian George Wallace, but you can also watch past shows and get all of your COVID-related updates. We're also streaming live on YouTube. I want to say hi to all you YouTubers and thank you so much for watching. Hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We also have a presence on Twitter and also on Instagram. Want to remind you to post and share. And if you have a comment, please post in the comment section. We're live today, so we'll be glad to answer your question. The other thing I want you to do is make sure you check out the scroll at the bottom of the screen. All of the great information that we just shared about vaccination locations, financial help, and more will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So please check it out and post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses. Well, this is the season for making changes. That should be a song. 'Tis the season for making changes. New Year's resolutions, resetting our physical, emotional, and financial life. But how can we really get it done successfully? Dr. Damon Tweedy joins us. He's the Associate Professor of Psychiatry at Duke University School of Medicine and also the staff physician at the Durham Veterans Affairs Health System. He's the author of Black Man in a White Coat, which has also published articles about race and medicine in the New York Times, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, and Raleigh News and Observer, as well as various medical journals. Dr. Tweedy, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Yeah, thank you. So listen, what has to happen in our lives during this time of year where people, are resetting their lives, like I said, making changes? What needs to happen to make real changes in our lives?
Yeah, so it's the whole thing with New Year's resolutions, right? And we're going to just sort of fix it all, right?
Yeah.
The clock's going to restart, right? And everything's just all the problems will wash away, and we'll start anew, right? So, I think there's, when we think about goal setting, I think there's this acronym that's used, and some of the letters kind of change, but it's called a SMART. You guys remember this, the SMART goals or SMART acronym? So just to kind of give you a quick rundown of that, and I think it applies to all sorts of things in our lives, whether we're talking about losing weight or getting our finances in order or whatever whatever may be the case, sleeping better. And so S is for specific. The goal has to be kind of specific. It can't just be, well, I want to feel better. It has to be a little bit more specific in some ways. The M is something that you can actually measure. A is something that's attainable, achievable. R is realistic, reasonable, and T is time-based. And we'll kind of go back and circle through that, right? So let's say, for instance, your goal is, we'll just put a diet, because everyone has, this sort of dietary thing in
Mm-hmm.
weight loss. That's a common one, right? So let's just use that as an example and try and break it down. So let's say, well, I want to, lose, you know, basically what most people want to like lose a whole bunch of weight, right? But maybe we need to break it down a little bit more simple than that, because if you say up front, well, I want to lose 100 pounds, that just gets overwhelming, and you get a little far and you stop before you've gotten started.
Right.
A lot of times you have these things in the new year, these gym memberships, I know pre-COVID, they go up, and then by like middle of January, people sort of kind of fizzled out. But a lot of times they've sort of set themselves up for failure. It's really starting with things small, like very small. Like let's say it's about we want to drink more water, right? So let's make it
Mm-hmm.
specific. Well, I want to drink 8 ounces of water 3 days a week. So 8 ounces of water with each meal for a whole week. So something that's reasonable, time limited, something that's not like And so I think often when I tell people to set goals, you should try different things out and see what might work for you. So it might be, let's do this for a week, and that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see that, and then the next week we'll try a different goal. And what you find over time is you may, and so that's sort of in a very rough way.
Yeah, you're going in and out. We're losing your connection a little bit, Dr. Tweedy. So, but I'm going to keep going. Hopefully we'll get a better connection. So you're saying make smaller goals, basically, specific smaller goals, instead of saying, I'm going to, like you said, drink 3 gallons or whatever of water per setting, which is kind of unrealistic. And it's a lot, especially if you don't drink water.
I don't know if it's
Just
freezing
say,
a little bit.
yeah, it's freezing. Yeah, we're freezing a little bit. Just say, I'm going to maybe drink 1 big glass of water every time I eat. That's more realistic and that's more specific.
Uh-oh. You're not
Yeah,
hearing me there?
yeah, not really. Yeah, it is. It's freezing
Looks
up.
like
It
I'm
was
not
great
hearing you.
before you got on. Yeah, you can't hear me? I think we're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick break and come back with Dr. Tweedy. Hopefully he'll have a better signal. And if we don't get a better signal from him, then we're going to come back with our other guest, CeCe. We're going to take a quick break and try to get our technical problems taken care of. Okay, I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with COVID Wellness Wednesday.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Aiken Cockrum. I was Miss America in 1994. As a result of that, I had to learn at a very early age that it's important to take care of my health, to get enough rest, to eat a balanced diet, and to get exercise. Those are principles that I still live by today. Take a moment to visit inittogethersc.org to take an online test to find out if you're at risk of prediabetes and how to join a diabetes prevention program that takes the guesswork out of losing weight, eating better, and being more active. You can learn new ways to stay healthy and sustain those changes over time. When you join, you'll get support from a trained lifestyle coach to help you set and achieve realistic goals. Go to inittogethersc.org. Brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Let Palmetto Painting Services take the worry out of your next home painting project. We can paint anything. Our business is about interior painting and exterior painting. We offer services for residential and commercial properties. Restore the life to your home with a fresh coat of paint from Palmetto Painting Services. References are available upon request. Give us a call at 803-546-4570 today.
Do you have a gamer on your Christmas list? Computers Unique can fill their Christmas wish. Do you have a student or designer that needs something special? Stop by Computers Unique Dutch Square Mall for all your holiday gift needs. Gaming laptops and desktops, the iMac and Mac Pro Apple laptops, plus the new curved monitors are all at Computers Unique. And with prices starting at $175, everyone can get their Christmas wish from Computers Unique Dutch Square Mall. Call 803-351-5821 for Computers Unique.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
Comet's always going to be there and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comet is our livelihood.
We are getting you ready for a new you in 2022 here on Coping with COVID. You're watching In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday. We're having some problems, connectivity problems with Dr. Damon Tweedy, so we are going to try to reconnect with him and come back. We are streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow so you can get engaged and informed and involved in that great page. They have got so many great resources available there for diabetes prevention programs, health and wellness tips, and more. So please go over there and check that out. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with COVID. Please go over there, like and share and follow. You can get notifications when to watch Coping with COVID Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. and first Monday with comedian George Wallace. And you can also watch previous episodes of Coping with COVID. The same for YouTube. We're streaming live there also. I want to say hi to everyone that's watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit the subscribe button. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. I'm Tre Tailor, and as I said, we're getting you ready for a new you in 2022. And as you know, like I said, we were trying to connect with Dr. Damon Tweedy, but now we're going to talk to our next guest. Our next guest is CeCe Mazyct. She is a former high school athlete who served in the military and was injured while parachuting, but she used her strong will to overcome and continue to succeed as a Paralympian. CeCe, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So listen, where do you think you learned your strength and perseverance from?
It's cliche, but strength and perseverance, it came from the man above, of course. But at a very young age, my grandmother instilled that in me.
Yeah. What are some of the things she told you to help you? I mean, because as a kid, you know, we do hear a lot of things and we learn a lot of things from our family members. But what were those things specifically that she said to you that you think resonated with you as a young person?
First of all, she said that I can do all things through Christ. And also she instilled in me that I am a conqueror. I am strong. I am beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can do anything that I put my mind to.
Right. So you were a high school athlete. Were you always interested in sports?
Yes. I was always interested in sports. I'm coming from a sports family, a military family. So I just fell into line with everyone else. Yes, my aunts, my uncles, they played high school basketball and went off to college and played as well. And I just followed suit with my love for sports, basketball and track and high school, and also cheerleader.
Right. So you chose the military route. Was it a question as to whether or not you would continue to, maybe go to school on a sports scholarship because you excelled in so many different sports as opposed to military?
Well, of course, growing up, my parents could not afford college. So I went to a 2-year college in Atlanta, Georgia, wanting to become a fashion stylist. I didn't have military in mind at the time, but 1 year in, I decided that I needed more education to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I knew military would pay for college, and that's exactly what I did. 1 year in at Barber College in Atlanta, Georgia, I joined the United States Army Reserves. That was in 1995. I completed basic training, AIT here at Fort Jackson. And after that, I went back to Barber and I, of course, completed my degree in fashion merchandise. And I just wanted to go on active duty to continue my education for free. And
Right.
in 1997, I went active duty, was stationed at Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where, of course, the big thing was jump master. You had to go to jump school.
Yeah,
In the
yeah. And
80s, I guess.
right. So that is actually, and we see you actually here, a picture of you jumping out of something there.
Yeah, that was I'm going to tell you, that was recent though. That was
Okay.
another journey that I had.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit about that, but it was actually your jumping out of a parachute that caused your accident. Can you tell us about that day?
Sure, it was November 2002, a windy day just before Thanksgiving, and just doing race tracks in the air. The knots were really, really high, and we just kept circling, and then finally the doors opened, Trey. And when the doors open, you have to go. So
Wow.
I jumped out, and the wind, it took me like no other time before. I'm a small frame woman, and it normally takes me, but this time it really took me.
And at this
And
point, CeCe, you had jumped out of parachutes dozens of times, right?
no, yes, I have dozens of times. I was actually a jump master at this point
Wow.
in my career, military career. And yeah, once I jumped out, it just took me, and I was trying to get my parachute under control. And once I did that, I found myself drifting toward another jumper, and I could not slip away. And so we actually collided. Two jumpers can ride one parachute to the ground, and we were discussing ways to actually land. And right before the ground, our parachutes broke loose, and I had
Oh,
no time to prepare to land. So
oh
if
my
you can
God.
just imagine, here's the ground, and here is me coming down, and
Without
I'm
a
coming
parachute.
down. Yeah, I have the parachute on. I have the parachute on, but I'm falling quickly because I just got entangled from another jumper, so it wasn't fully inflated.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I was falling faster, and you're supposed to land with your feet and your knees slightly bent, and just go with the momentum. So I landed with my feet, and my knees totally straight, and yeah, I was totally paralyzed upon impact.
Oh my
And
God.
I didn't know at the time. I just thought I had a really bad landing, a really rough landing, which you have sometimes.
Right.
And I tried to get up, and I noticed that I could not move. And all I could think about at that time was my 1-year-old son,
Right.
Tristan. I was just calling out his name. He was in daycare. There's nothing that he could have done, but it was
Right.
just
But your
mind
motherly
just went
instinct. Yeah,
on.
your motherly instinct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came in, and you think of course you're thinking, oh God, what's happening to me? But then you think about my child, what's going to happen to my child?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh wow. So what happened? What is the recovery like after falling from a parachute and being totally paralyzed? What kind of recovery is that?
Wow. Rehabilitation. It was really hard.
Yeah.
The hardest part for me was not really worrying about myself, because in my heart, I knew I could adapt and overcome, work through any issues that I may have, dig deep, and do what I had to do. But my main focus was, how was I going to provide for a 1-year-old?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was, tears, just tears, days and months, just worrying about my son. My mom, of course, was my support system, and she had my son here in Columbia, caring for him.
Right.
And she would bring my son to the hospital, the VA hospital in Augusta, Georgia, to see me. And the worst part, I'm going to tell you, Trey, that after a while, my son didn't even notice me. He didn't even want to come to me. And that brought, I lost it. I lost it.
Do you
Yeah.
think was it because he didn't recognize you in
He
that
did not.
state?
He
Oh,
did not recognize me. I was really, I'm already thin. I was skinny. I was 93
oh
pounds.
my God.
I was 93 pounds laying in a hospital bed, wires hooked up to me, barely could move. I had a back brace on, my hair braided to the back. Yeah, he didn't notice his mother at all.
Wow, wow. We're talking to CeCe Mazyct. She is a former veteran, former high school athlete. She served in the military, was injured by parachuting. She's sharing her story about her strong will to overcome and continue to succeed. It's our new You in 2022 series on coping with COVID. You're watching Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. So, CeCe, how long was your recovery and rehabilitation time?
You would think it would be very long, but I'm going to say from November to March
Mm.
13th.
5 months.
That's it.
That's unbelievable.
Hard work, dedication,
Yeah.
mind over matter. I pushed myself. Aquatic therapy actually helped me to make steps a little bit because I was not walking at all. So yeah, aquatic therapy was my friend, and actually walking on my own did a lot for me in reference to getting that movement back and trying to connect, my brain cells back to where they belong. And I still, of course, I use a wheelchair for distance, and I walk with a cane for shorter distances. So
you were able to then walk at some
point.
Yes, some point. Yeah.
Yeah, the doctors told my mom that I would never walk again.
Yeah.
The devil is a liar.
I know that's right. Danielle Lake says, thank you, CeCe, for your military service. She says, thank you also for your courage to tell your story and your spirit and determination to adapt to a new way of life. Danielle says, bravo for your strong will and your parenting skills. Danielle, thank you so much for your comment. Yeah, CeCe, I'm thinking, 5 months after falling from an airplane and 5 months of recovery. And you're right. I would have thought it would have been much longer. But you talked at the beginning of the interview when we first started talking about how, your grandmother instilled that strength and determination and will in you. And that's why I wanted to start with that, because I think you need that first to be able to go through whatever you're going to go through. And here's the thing, you don't know what you're going to go through. You don't know what the day is going to bring you, what the month's going to bring you as people go into this new year. You don't know what the new year is going to bring to you. Heck, I remember, listen, in 2020, we were all looking forward to a new year, 2020, and then COVID hit, so, and here it is, we're getting ready to go into the year 2 of it. So that's why I wanted you to talk about how important that was. So you said, I think too, the fact that you say you were concerned about your son, do you think that added to your motivation to want to get better? Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. My motivation comes from him. That is my only son. So of course, and I didn't want to fall back into that, how your grandmother or someone else raises your children or your child. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to raise my own son. That was my responsibility.
Right.
I had him, and I wanted to do the due diligence of raising my son in the way that I felt the need for him to be raised, because I didn't come from a great upbringing. I had very hard times with my parents and with growing up, being molested and, parents that were on drugs. And I always, too, that was my motivation to be better than my parents. And now they're all good. We have a great relationship. Yes, we do. An amazing relationship. My parents, I love them to pieces. And they always told me to be better than us.
Yeah.
So my brother and I, that's exactly what we strive for with ourselves and also our children.
Yeah. Okay. Josie says, 5 months, girl, you're awesome. She said, God bless you. Hey, Josie, thank you so much for your comment. Please post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses, because CeCe has such an amazing story of overcoming. And these are the types of stories, the types of messages we need to hear and discern, because we're all going to go into something. And as we go into this new year and we set goals and aspirations for ourselves, we've got to recognize, if CeCe can do it, if CeCe can recover from a parish, yes, you can too. Absolutely, you can too. So after that, I mean, you, like I said, 5 months, and then you end up not only parachuting again, doing the same type of thing that really injured you and changed your life forever. You started competing in Olympic sports. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my journey as a disabled athlete began with the National Veteran Wheelchair Games, and that was in 2005 in Minnesota. So that's an array of
3 years
disabled
after.
veterans.
Yeah, 3 years after your accident.
Yes. That was an array of disabled veterans coming together through sports. So we have all types of sport, from softball to basketball to powerlifting, things like that, just any sports that you can imagine. So we get together once a year, different state and city, every single year. And it's just the camaraderie and just giving you the support to know that you can go out in the world and to conquer and to be confident in yourself. So that started my athletic career with my disability of me being in a wheelchair.
Now, is that something they inform you about, or is that something you have to pursue? Did you kind of pursue and say, hey, is there anything out there for disabled vets, or is that something they kind of come to you with?
The recreational therapists at the Augusta VA, they came to me with it because they knew my passion for sports.
Right.
And that was right up my alley. That was my breakthrough for the Paralympics. So I strived through the National Veteran Wheelchair Games while being a student at the University of South Carolina. I did go back to school to pursue a degree in sociology with a minor in women's studies. I graduated in 2010 with that degree as a disabled veteran in my wheelchair on campus for 4 years every single day because I wanted to show my son too to never give up, and you can do anything that you put your mind to it. If your mommy can do it in a wheelchair, I'm pretty sure that you can achieve that.
Yeah.
So after I graduated, I dedicated 110% to the Paralympics. At that time, I wasn't a Paralympian. Of course, you had to go through an array of trials and things like that. And I went to the Paralympic trials in Indiana. And at that moment, I threw my best shot with the javelin. That was my discipline. And that landed me a spot on the 2012 Paralympic Games in London. Of course, my name was Jav Diva. Javelin, of course, Diva was because I was always putting on some type of lip gloss. And, everyone thought it was for glam, but it wasn't. I really don't like my lips to be chapped. That's what it is. I hate chapped lips. So it wasn't a vanity thing at all. But that was my name, Jav Diva, there. And I went on, competed there. And after that, I competed in the World Championships in Lyon, France, where I won a bronze medal there. And my athletic career just seemed to keep declining. My shoulder gave me problems and I had rotator cuff surgery. So that was kind of the end of my athletic career with the Paralympics. But a lot of great things came. I got to meet the president several times. And yes, of course, that was one of my stints at the White House. That was probably the third time of me meeting him and Mr. Biden. Amazing people, amazing individuals. Yes.
What was your conversation with the president at the time? President Obama
He just asked me
and now
how.
President Joe Biden.
Well, I met President Biden before that at the Winter Sports Clinic, another organization hosted by the Paralyzed Veterans of America in Aspen, Colorado. He was there with his deceased now son, Bo, because he was a veteran as well. So he came to be our guest speaker there in Aspen while we were on the slopes skiing. So, but yeah, the conversation it wasn't really a conversation per se, but just asking me how I'm doing and what are my goals, what I plan to do. You know, if I had a son, what was I doing? And at the time, of course, I was in school the first time I was in school. And of course, I told him I was a single parent. And he just told me to keep doing what I'm doing and reach for the stars. Yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah. And now you're traveling the world, telling your story. What do you say? What is your message when you are out speaking now?
You know, Trey, my message is basically, I tell everyone to adapt and overcome. That was my big thing because I had to adapt to my new normal.
Right.
And I had to overcome it. And surround yourself with a great support system. Is nothing like family, friends that you can vent to, go to when you're having problems. There's organizations out there like DAV, who I am an ambassador for, Disabled American Veterans. They provide so much information. It's just a lifetime of supports for all veterans and generations and their families and survivors too. They provide assistance for veterans and families with health care, disability, employment, education, financially. I mean, it's the work. So I actually just tell everyone to adapt and overcome, reach for the stars, don't give up on your dreams, just all the above. Yeah. And that was me. That was recent. That was in October. I took a parabolic flight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a parabolic flight is almost a flight it symbolizes space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm floating in the air on the other slide.
Right.
Yeah, right there. It's weightlessness. And Al Roker took this flight as well. That was just on the news yesterday morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you go up and down. It's called parabolas. The flight, you go up and down like that at a steep slope, up and down. So that company is called Astro Access. I was actually selected to go on that as one of 12 ambassadors. We were the first 12 ambassadors of disabled individuals to go. So made history there, as well as one of the 12 ambassadors to take this first parabolic flight of 12 disabled individuals. That included physical disability like myself, and also blind individuals and hearing impaired individuals. So that was pretty exciting. That was my last huge adventure.
Right. So CeCe, I'm telling you, based on what your goals were and how do you feel about where you are now, everything that you've experienced, because you have had an amazing life, despite what happened to you. I mean, you have done things that people not only have ever done, will never do, So how do you feel about, based on what you thought you wanted in your life, where you are and what you've done in spite of what happened to you?
I always feel like I can do more. I want to do more. I want to reach so many more individuals that feel like giving up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like giving up is not an option.
Yeah.
And from my life before to my life now, yes, I am very blessed. I've been very blessed. My son is 19. He's a sophomore in college. So yes, I mean, I tapped myself on the shoulder and said, job well done. But I
Yeah.
also feel on the inside that there's so much more that I have to do. Like God is not done with me yet.
Yeah.
I have so much more to give, so much more to say, so much more to share to individuals that feel like giving up. Not just disabled individuals, just everyone in the world.
Was
Just
that
to know my story
right?
and to see
Yes.
where I came from and to see that no matter what, I'm still standing. I still have a voice, and I'm pretty sure they do as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing, CeCe, had that not happened to you, that would not be your story to tell. That's the crazy thing about it.
I think about that. Where would I be
Yeah.
if this accident would not have happened?
Yeah. And those are the things we've got to think about, because the unexpected is going to happen. It's life. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So, I mean, I look at your story and want to encourage everyone that, and whether you're a believer or not, things happen as they should.
Yes.
They're good, bad, and different, but you've got to make the best of what the situation is, because that's what the hands are that you were dealt. And you can still make it a good situation. No need to be, I mean, listen, you can be sad and cry, and I'm sure you had those moments. Like you said, you were
absolutely.
concerned.
Still today. Still
Yeah.
today, I have rough days, but I know every day is not going to be that way. You have to talk to yourself. You have to motivate yourself. You are your best motivator.
Yeah.
Look in that mirror and said, I am strong. I am determined. I will do this. Let me pick myself up, even if it's just getting out of that bed, walking into your kitchen,
Yeah.
Cooking, just doing something, getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know COVID is here. You can't get out like you want to.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned COVID, because I want to ask that as people recover from the pandemic, financially, a lot of people have lost jobs, they've lost loved ones, and people are resetting for the new year. How can people overcome the pitfalls in life like you did?
Well, I'm still overcoming. Every day is a new struggle. And all you have to me, I just pray for number one. But speak in reality terms, you have to sit down and think about your goals, do a vision board and where you want to be, and strive and work toward those goals. Sometimes we slip and fall, but we all can get back up. We can. You just have to have that mindset. You have to change your mindset.
Yeah. 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 How are you doing now? How do you feel?
Me?
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel good. I really do. I really do. This COVID and all the new strands are coming out. Of course, it kind of limits where I want to go and what I want to do. But I make the best, like you said, of what I have.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. And how's your son?
My son as well. He's doing okay. The struggle in the first year, COVID, that outbreak in school, and him having to do classes online. And I just feel a little bit sorry for him that he really couldn't get the true college experience that he really, wanted to get. But he's trying to fall back into line with college and have a positive attitude. I'm trying to instill that with him. No matter what, in my household, giving up is not an option.
Right.
Because I'm a single parent of a Black male that you see standing right there.
That's right. That's right.
Of course, he has to strive for the best. And I told him, my life, I live my life and I'm still living it. here's your open book. Now you need to start writing yours.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Centrell Thompson says, awesome. Okay, Josie said, vision boards work. She says she looks at hers every day and executes it. Thank you, ladies, so much for watching and for your comments. What does he get from you? What do you think? Has he said to you how he feels about what you've done, what your journey has been, and how he has responded to it?
Okay, so about that, in the beginning when he was younger, yes, he was elated about it, telling all his friends, because I used to come up to the school and in my Paralympic uniform, USA, you know, in my javelin. I used to do speaking engagements and things. So, and he's actually on several of my YouTube videos. So yeah, he thought he was you know,
A celebrity.
Yes, exactly. But now he could care less. He'd be like, oh, okay, you going where? Okay. You know, yeah, just like with this interview, he was like, oh, okay. It is a second thought for him, but
Right.
he really sees my hard work and dedication. That's the one thing. No, despite how I'm feeling, despite this wheelchair that I'm in, he sees the hard work and dedication that his mommy is doing and also has done.
Right.
And he doesn't even see the wheelchair.
Right.
He thinks I'm just a superwoman. You know, I'm like, Tristan, hold on. Don't forget I am disabled, you know? So yeah, I mean, he's a great kid. He's a great kid. He's very quiet, very shy. Yeah. Total opposite of me.
Well, CeCe, you have an amazing story. I'm so glad for the opportunity to have the privilege to share your story. Thank you so much, not only for what you've done, but for the example and the inspiration that you are providing to veterans and to everyone that sees you, hears you, and knows you, because your story is truly a miracle. It's a miraculous story, and it is so inspirational. I didn't ask you this before, but I'm going to give you a minute if you agree. Are there any scriptures or words of inspiration or anything that you want to share at the end of the show to close out the show today? You can think about it and then we'll come back to you. Okay. That's CeCe Mazyct. You can see her information on the screen. She is accepting speaking engagements. So if you are looking for someone to provide an inspirational, motivational story for your event that's coming up, if you are doing a vision board party, or if you're doing something to help people get motivated and get it together for the new year, I think CeCe would be an amazing person to do that. You can see her information on the screen, and we're going to come back with CeCe in just a short for her to share some words as we close out the show. CeCe Mazyct. Thank you again, CeCe. We'll see you again in just a few seconds, okay? Okay. All right. So listen, if you have a story or initiative that can help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreTailor.com. Booking@copingwithtreTailor.com. If you have a product or service that can help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreTailor@gmail.com. CopingwithtreTailor@gmail.com. Both of those email addresses are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday, just like today, every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Our other sponsors include Javis Tax Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Attorney Byron Gibson. They're going to be with us the second Thursday of the month. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Palmetto Painting Services, Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you know someone that's having a challenge coping with COVID, contact the folks at Agape Counseling and Training Centers. Black Pages, Black Expo, the Comet Bus System, and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Tomorrow, Zoom Box. It's a subscription box for children of color and a program to empower and motivate girls, Girl Squad. We're going to talk to those ladies tomorrow on Coping with COVID. And tomorrow, Friday, a New Year's Day show about attaining your goals. Actress Arisha Connors is from Columbia, South Carolina, and she utilized the pandemic to catapult her career and her life. Now she has starred with a little bit of everybody and is currently on an ongoing streaming series with Samuel L. Jackson. She's going to tell you about her journey and give you advice on how you can pursue acting from anywhere you live. That's coming up this week on Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. We're going to bring CeCe back up to close us out with some inspirational or motivational words, or maybe your favorite scripture or anything. CeCe, can you share with us?
Well, I was thinking about like success, and success is very personal. Your success is not my success. For me, when you reach the point in your life where you reach your goals and aspiration, and everything just flows in your life, you're happy, you're loved, you're living life to the fullest and not just existing. That's success to me. And also, one last thing, in the great words of Nelson Mandela, the greatest glory in living lies in never failing, but rising every time we fail. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. That's kind of like, you know, that put me in the mind of Donnie McClurkin's song, "We Fall Down, but We Get Up."
Absolutely.
Yeah. CeCe Mazyct, y'all. CeCe Beautiful, thank you so much for joining us. Take care. God bless, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So listen, thank you again so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. Until the next time, we wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care. Stay well. God bless. Don't forget to get your vaccine. And please wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID and In It Together SC present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.